Hello.
Good morning, Rayma.
Good morning. Is it Graham?
Yes, it's Graham. Is it Rayma?
It's Rama. Rama
Rama.
Carty.
Rama. Okay. Thank you, Rama. All right. Well,
All right.
what's an honor to be on the call with you.
I'm actually going to activate the video here.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed for joining me. I do appreciate you booking this call. Did you get a chance to watch my short little video?
I did. I did. Thank you for that. That was insightful. I think that what you've gone through and what you've been able to endure and overcome, I think is impressive. I've got my own sort of origin story, if you will, with respect to you know uh, adjusting or adversarial issues in this
Yeah.
country, which is a long story. But
Right, right.
yeah, I certainly
Thank you
appreciate
for
that.
thank you for watching that. It saves time so we can concentrate on you and your story. So tell us, why real estate, what got you involved, and what I can do to help you. So,
So my I do not have a real estate portfolio at this time. I've been doing quite a bit of research over the last few years. I've been looking at business acquisition as well as real estate acquisition. And so when I saw the information, Pace Morby's information over the last year, I realized that there was an opportunity to start to think about acquiring from a creative perspective. And so the goal for me now is to align with people who are like-minded with respect to acquisitions and being aggressive therein, and um, find ways to be creative in a sense of whatever needs to be done in terms of acquiring real estate that makes sense. That's going to cash flow. I primarily am interested in buy and holds. I think you're involved in a lot of multifamilies or large
that's right.
multifamilies,
Yep.
and that to me seems to be the most attractive. I have done some research into shopping center locations from a commercial perspective, and so I find that interesting as well. One of the things that I'm doing is I am a futures trader as well. So
Okay.
part of my interest is to gain cash flow and then convert that cash flow and accelerate capital gains. So the skill set, my interest, for example, in Bitcoin goes all the way back to 2010.
Oh
I
wow.
used to,
Okay.
I
You
used to,
must be a
I used to,
millionaire then, huh?
well, no. It's a. I have my own sort of. I'm an activist of sorts, and so
Okay.
I don't know if you know who Dr. Judy Mikovits is. She's one of the persons that was a whistleblower with respect to the vaccines.
Oh right.
So,
Okay.
yeah, so she and I became friends when I was. I'm currently on the East Coast in the Boston, Massachusetts area. And when I
Okay.
was in California, one of the times when I was in California, I've been kind of doing the bicoastal thing for some time, but I met with her and her husband David, he ended up succumbing to a COVID shot against her will when he was at the hospital, and that's a whole other conversation. Um, but she is a major whistleblower with respect to vaccines, and so I decided to reach out to her and support her in whatever way that I could, and I began to advise her on some things because she is a new molecular biologist, and she used to work
Okay.
at the Fort Detrick Bioweapons Lab at the
Oh.
U.S. Army base in Fort Detrick, Maryland. So they were using her talents for nefarious purposes, and she wasn't
Oh.
interested in that. And
Wow.
so I began advising her on some things, and she ended up connecting me with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. later on in 2020, and I began advising him on a couple of things. And so there's quite a bit. But when I say that I'm an activist for real. I've been through quite a bit,
Mm.
and so I'm
Yeah,
very,
we
very
probably could talk all day about COVID then, huh?
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I can tell you quite a bit, but
Yeah.
I've done PhD level research in terms of
Yeah.
how this country really works and what's really happening to the people. So I spent quite a bit of time uh, understanding what the system really is and how it really works, and I realize now
Right.
it's really about making sure that I accelerate income, cash flow, start to build intergenerational wealth as much as possible, and
Right.
work with other people who are like-minded so that we can all do the same because we're going
Yeah.
to have the resources to be able to fight back.
Right. 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 Because money talks, doesn't it? Well, there's a lot of money, and that COVID situation was certainly there was a lot of money. It was a global situation, and you could inoculate everybody and make lots and lots of money. Yeah. So.
Well, allegedly inoculate, but the death rates from these vaccines and what has happened to people's bodies with these vaccines, for a lot
Right.
of these vaccines, it's been
And
very,
that's
very
not surprising
nefarious.
at all, is it? When there's a panic situation like that, people are gonna say, "Oh, it's a brilliant cure," and it's not really, but they're gonna cover it up. And
Well, and well, that's the thing.
yeah,
I have access to a ton of information, and what they found out, and what they're continuing to find out, is that not only was it not what they said it was, but it's actually seems to be a very nefarious. When you
yeah,
have insiders saying that there was some kind of nefarious agenda, that's a
yeah.
very significant thing.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. So
yeah,
yes, I didn't take the vaccine for those very purposes. I thought that does make sense.
yeah, no,
You
and
can't
I'm glad
trust a
you.
system like that. So
Yeah, and I'm glad you didn't.
yeah,
I know people who are no longer with us because they have, and a lot of people do as well.
right.
So there are very serious consequences for those.
Mm,
And of course, not all batches are the same. So there are people who apparently took whatever they were given. They don't
right.
seem to have any adverse reactions. And I think that if there was of course, a nefarious agenda, which seems to be the case, they wouldn't actually have every single batch be the same. So,
And I think there is a fact that it takes a long time for a drug, so-called solution drug to come on the market is a good thing because it goes through all the hurdles and things. And they just tried to shortcut that whole process because, well, because it was an emergency, I guess. I mean, but it's so
well,
difficult because it does take time to do proper trials.
easily 10 to 15 years to be able to track something to see if it
Yeah,
actually is efficacious and it makes sense.
right.
And I think it's they've, let's just say that there's a very convenient advent of these vaccines under these circumstances that are also very nefarious. So,
Yes, that's exactly right. So we got to think, haven't we? Like a lot of things in life, like in real estate, the first time round, and you watched my story, it's because I was too naive, too trusting, and I didn't have sufficient capital backing to take legal action.
mm,
Because it's so expensive, attorneys, right? I would have still had all my properties if I had economic access to legal counsel, because I could have recovered all the lost rents. I could have sued the contractors for non-performance, and which caused the whole thing to collapse. I could have sued the management who stole money from me. I could have sued the bank who stole money off me at closing. I mean,
so in other words, so do I understand it that you ended up? How many properties did you lose, or how much property did you lose?
over 100 doors, 109 doors, over $5 million in real estate at the time.
Wow. So
And
in other words, it sounds as if you were hit at multiple angles and multiple
multiple
manners.
angles, yes.
Wow.
Every single thing, it was like fighting a fire without water. Um,
Did you have a partner?
no, I did all this
Mm,
myself. That's another
mm,
mistake. I wrote a little book called Cautionary Tales about real estate investing. I put that
mhm.
on
Yep, I
Amazon.
saw that in the video. Yeah.
Yeah, and because it's a warning, there's two warnings. Make sure you know what you're doing. All right. It's not just dive in. There's sharks in the water. So be careful. There's predators, right? And second, economic access to legal counsel. I discovered this 2 weeks ago. And if you're in real estate, you need this. All right. Everybody needs this as a fundamental part of real estate, and that's legal access. But the thing is, legal is expensive, right? I mean,
Mhm.
if you think about it, your house, okay, you probably got house insurance. Is that right? You
Well,
insure?
I'm actually renting currently.
Okay. Well, what about your car? Do you insure your car?
So I don't drive currently either.
Okay.
So
All right. Do you
it's
have life
but I get it.
insurance?
I mean, no, health insurance,
Health
insurance
insurance?
is important.
Yes,
Insurance
that's
is
right. Yeah. So that's what this is. It's Legal Shield, and it's like having insurance for legal matters, whether you want to sue or you're being sued, and
right.
whether it's frivolous or not, whether it's a small amount or not. Most of the time, unless it's like 5 figures, we don't usually use an attorney because of their retainer and the cost of of going into legal battle. Well, with Legal Shield, it doesn't matter about the cost. The company, okay, I've paid the attorneys already, the retainers, literally millions of dollars. So when you call the attorney, already paid for, they're on the phone with you. They're not looking at the clock. They're going to explain it all to you, come up with a plan, write the letters you need to get to redress the problem. So for a low monthly fee, absolutely incredible. I would have had all my properties still if I'd had that sort of access to legal counsel. I would have been calling them every single day. Every time we do a real estate transaction, right, there's a contract. We need it to be looked at, really.
Sure.
Right? And you can't always rely on the attorney in the title company. They just want to get paid. So they're not doing as deep a job as they should. They just want to get the deal through. Okay, there's plenty of examples of that after you close property, that something comes up and you need legal counsel. Just look at the web, it's littered with it. You know, so I'm passionate about it because it would have saved me. It would have, and if I go back in time, that's what I would have told myself: get legal counsel. Yeah, okay, it's expensive one way, but here's Legal Shield who will do it for a monthly fee. You know,
Right. Well, and of course, not all attorneys are the same, but if you can identify somebody who's got a decent reputation that is able to at least fit the bill, it's better.
Here's the other thing with Legal Shield: they have to have 20 years experience. These are top-notch attorneys. They're not cheap. They're already being paid by the company, and the company's reputation relies on them doing the job well. So it's
no, this
really
makes
cool.
sense.
Yeah.
I've had numerous conversations with somebody that I'm working with. He's considered the top regenerative health practitioner in the world. His clients include royalty from different countries and heads of state and athletes, et cetera. What he's been able to innovate scientifically and reverse, it's stunning. I'm talking Nobel Prize level type of stuff. So I'll tell you more about that later. But he and I have talked at length about the amount of money that he's lost, and I've lost some money as well over the years in terms of deals, but not real estate, but just in business. And so having proper structure, understanding what proper structure looks like going in is extremely important. And of course, that includes the legal aspects of what needs to be done. And I think that always looking at, okay, what is the worst case scenario, no matter what, for every aspect of the business or the venture, you have to look into what that looks like. How do I get screwed by the attorney? How do I get screwed over by the management company? I've heard, I think Pace Morby was talking about how he had a manager. He found out that she was, or somebody who was on his team, she was embezzling money. So I don't know if you heard about this. She found some person who had the exact same name to a contractor that they already had under contract, some contractor, and she was paying him on the side additional money and getting a kickback from this person. So somebody alerted him. I mean, when you think about that, I mean, she literally found this person online, by the way, with the same exact name. So
so you get the point, Rama. And being an activist, to have an attorney literally in your back pocket. I just click on this app, and it can do a consult. It tells you what it's about. You give them it, then you connect with them. They call you, and if you have an accident in a car and it's the middle of the night, you can call the attorney even while the police are there, and they talk to the police, or whatever. It's amazing service.
Yeah, I know somebody else who was just telling me about Legal Shield. I've heard of them, of course. I haven't used them personally, but somebody else was telling me about her experience with them, and it's just a reminder that to have that as a backup, have that as part of your structure, I think is always important.
It's insurance, and that's what I'm saying.
It is insurance, exactly. So where I am currently is that I am. The reason I appreciated your video is because everything that I've gone through in terms of in recent years, COVID, et cetera, and because of my activism, let's just say that because of my activism, I understand what it also means to be targeted and also be put in positions where I'm not in the best. So in a position to be able to leverage my knowledge base. And so now I'm at the point now I'm starting to feel that I'm getting, I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak, in terms of being able to get beyond, where I was in recent years. So this is my sort of comeback, in a sense, or come up now.
That's good.
And so I appreciated your going through that, because most people, I think that cautionary tale or the book, et cetera, or your cautionary tale, I think is extremely important, because I think as the economy gets worse for a lot of people, things are only going to get more tempting for people to try to screw people over.
Right, right.
So
Yes, especially with AI as well. It's so easy to be deceived these days, and you can get sucked into areas that it's going to be very confusing.
right, yeah,
Well, I'm 63, so
okay, yeah,
I was there at the beginning with the internet and all the excitement,
right,
but
right,
now we got AI, which is several magnitudes bigger than just the internet. I mean, the internet was the launch pad, I think, for AI, which will radically change the world,
sure,
and
sure,
will leave us behind and confused and
sure.
full of
And
danger.
so,
Yeah.
yeah, so I my interest is to be able to identify partners, people that I can source deals with and for.
Right.
Um, uh, I am interested in finding funding partners that I can work with in terms of large, large multifamilies as well. I think that
Fantastic.
whether it's large multifamilies and or really shopping centers, that's really what I'm,
Yeah.
especially the shopping centers. I really want to go after shopping centers, simply because for me, the cash flow is going to be what's going to allow me to start to accelerate and then be able to do more with and for the partners that I work with,
Yeah. Yeah.
because of my trading skill set. So applying some of my proceeds and being able to start to multiply those proceeds
Yeah.
personally is going to be,
That
I think,
that that
very.
makes sense because that we don't want to be work another job, and the reason I chose a couple of reasons the large family makes sense is that because it's large family, you've got a stronger team, more experienced team in managing it on the GP side. So you have the sponsor who to be a sponsor, you have to have a similar asset class. You need to have 10% liquidity of the purchase price and the experience, the number of years. So um, then you've got all the legal counsel, and you've got the capital raisers, the investors, you've got all the players. So what I'm saying is the scalability is better because it's large multifamily. There is actually less risk, ironically, than the smaller ones, less than 100 units,
Mhm,
and then the scope for actually, the value add, the increasing the rents, to market rate. When we buy them below market rent. We do the
mhm,
value add in income streams, and
mhm,
so it's a really good investment because of that, and because you can play on the LP side, which is passive. You can be building your wealth. You get quarterly distributions and a share in the equity when the project's complete. So it doesn't disturb your life. It's in that sense, it's the one niche in real estate where you can build residual income and you're building substantial wealth. So
mhm,
you can live the lifestyle that you're looking for. That time freedom that we're promised with making money online, right?
mhm.
Most of
Right.
that's not true because most of it's jobs, right? If you're a wholesaler, it's a job. If you're a gator, it's a job. Okay. If it's fix and flip, it's a job.
Mhm,
Most of these real estate strategies, it's a job.
mhm.
I mean,
Yeah. So for me, because I'm also looking to increase uh, cash flow currently, I'm open to funding people who are looking for those kinds of transactions, double close, hard money double closes for a point a day, that kind of thing. So,
yeah.
for example, there's I think a guy who's a guy named Dan Stritchfield. I don't know if you know who that is. He was doing an interview with Pace Morby, and he is now doing Gator stuff. And so he found a funding partner, and that person was able to wire $300,000 to for a real estate escrow. The money never left escrow, and they were able to gain a point per day. I think that was $3,000 a day. So he was able to split that with his sourcing partner, and then the funder got the other point. So they were able to split 2 points, which is $6,000. So that's just 2 days worth of just transference and just due diligence, et cetera.
That's right. Yeah.
And so, but being able to accelerate the return on the funding versus on those kinds of funds versus just having them sit in an account, obviously it becomes a lot more attractive. And so I'm open to doing these kinds of deals simply to put myself in a better position, and also then to systematize so that I can actually then have that running on its own, and also supervise, but not necessarily be involved in the day-to-day in a very specific or supervisory manner. So that's why I was mentioning that, and I'm letting people know that I'm open to those kinds of deals as well, as long as people are interested in funding them.
Yeah, so you already know about my YouTube channel. So yeah, if you haven't subscribed already, that'd be great. We could support each other. I'm developing a community there. That'll help us keep in contact as well. And feel free to book a call with me. I need another call, calendly.com/Graham Norris, and
Sure.
let's stay in touch and see how we can continue to help each other in this business, now that we've connected. Yeah.
Sure. So let me make sure that I understand. So are you a general partner? Are you somebody who's looking to fund deals?
General partner. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'm playing on the acquisition side, and when we've acquired them, then I'm on the asset manager for that acquisition.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And so if I identify large multifamilies, I could come to you, and then we could work things out as far as you being a sponsor. And because I saw I've seen Tyler Devereaux do these presentations.
That's
and
right. Yeah.
Right. And so I'm not unfamiliar with him. And so I understand that somebody who's bringing this kind of a deal, I think that what is the percentage? It's like a 5% percentage as far as
acquisition fee is 5%.
Acquisition fee.
Yeah. So $20 million would be $1 million payday at closing. See, so if you brought the deal, we would have discussed beforehand, what your percentage cut would be on the acquisition side, because it's not just identifying, giving an address, it's underwriting.
Right.
So there's
It's
a
underwriting.
complicated process of acquisition, coordinating all the inspection period. And there's a lot to acquisition, from first identifying the address to getting it to closing. So we would discuss, what parts of how much you wanted to play in that acquisition role, and what your percentage of the cut acquisition fee would be. And now, like Tyler talks about 5%. So for $20 million deal, that'd be $1 million. So your payday could certainly be in the six figures, right? For that, if you just brought the address, But if you wanted to play a bigger role in it, in helping coordinate, like the inspection period, for example, or help with the underwriting, or checking the figures and gathering the information, being on the phone with the broker, and there's a lot to it, but all that could be discussed. And so you could play that part, or as a gator, you could squad up with gator wrestle with others and come in as a business entity. Put it in as an LP, the original stake. Get your fee at closing, quarterly distributions, and sharing the equity, 3 streams of income there, So that could be possible as well. There's many different things that we could discuss, and find what you're comfortable with.
Yeah. I'm looking to be aggressive. I think that, for example, what you experienced and some of the things that I've experienced and what I've learned, I think wisdom dictates that I try to really understand as much of every aspect of the business as possible to gain that wisdom, so that I can actually be more of an asset, not just to myself, but to also my partners. Because you want to be able to know what to look out for if things, or for contingency basis. From a contingency basis, you want to be able to really understand the business. I don't want to just be somebody who's, in essence, I don't want to be a glorified, bird dog. I want to be able to really understand the business.
Right. And I have because you said that, I've got this book coming out, Investing in Large Multifamily, next week on Amazon. It's 15 chapters, and I've written this for, you know, the beginning person in large multifamily. It comes in with all the terms and the steps and things, and it's going to be available on Amazon this
I
coming.
look forward to it. So that's coming out next week. Yes, you're
Yeah.
publishing that next week.
Yeah, let me see if I can put in the link. So it'll be like a little handbook, you know. Let's see, that's my author page. So just keep an eye on that. Let me put that in the chat. So that is my author page. We can find my cautionary tales. You've already mentioned that, and these two books. And the nice thing is, the other book you mentioned about shopping malls. The other book is Demystifying Commercial Real Estate Investing. That's 15 chapters. So this covers like shopping malls and things like that, you know. So
Oh, great.
and if you buy both of them, it's a bundle. It'll be a bundle, so it'll be cheaper if you buy both of them, if you wanted to buy both.
Okay. Well, I'm certainly looking forward to supporting you with those, and let other people know as well.
Yeah.
You're probably familiar with Peter Harris, who's written a couple of books along these lines as well. And so
Okay.
I'm getting, he's all over YouTube. You've probably seen him. Peter Harris, he's an African American gentleman. He's always saying, "Why don't you own real estate?" He's always, open.
Yeah. Oh, I know who you mean. Yes, he's always standing in front of that whiteboard. That's right.
Right, exactly.
I know
With the
the guy you
glasses.
mean. Yes, that's
With the
right.
glasses, right? Yeah, he's been.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
His portfolios, from what I understand, I spoke to one of his people, one of his sort of onboarding people, I think last year, and I mean, he's got. I mean, his portfolio was much more significant than people realize. He's just very quiet about it. I mean,
Yeah.
we're talking easily, probably heading towards. I mean, I think he's probably, in terms of people who are not really well known, what he's doing, what Pace Morby's doing on the residential side, he's been doing on the commercial side for a very long time. So he's got a very significant portfolio. And so what he does is, with his first deal, he'll partner. People will pay him to be part of his mastermind or mentorship, et cetera, and he'll partner with whoever on the first deal. So that he'll split that with whatever large multifamily situation. He'll split that with the person. So I certainly look forward to. I'm actually going to copy this information here in the chat that you put into the chat.
Yeah. That's fantastic. Well, it's been a real pleasure. I feel we've made a good connection, and
I look forward to discussing further with you.
Yes.
There are people. So what I'm going to do is I'm looking to. I'm going to, because there are people who've already started to reach out to me with respect to at least multi-million dollar or $1 million plus deals in terms of multifamilies. And so, is your buy box, is it specifically large multifamilies? Is that what you prefer?
Yes.
Okay.
$10 million or more, and that's because of scalability. We want management on site within the complex. We want to be for the management company to be able to hire a handyman, So it's all specific reasons why it's 100 plus units, $10 million up. Yeah.
Okay.
All
actually,
those
two URLs, if you wouldn't mind, because I'm actually on my phone here. Would you mind emailing me those two URLs that you just sent in the chat?
Sure, I'll do that. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, that would be great. Graham, it's a pleasure to speak with you and make your acquaintance. And I will be in touch.
Very good. Thank you, Rama. It's been a real pleasure for me too.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Have a great
Bye.
Bye-bye.